Hey again, y'all. It's your friendly neighborhood therapist. So I forgot that I wanted to talk about one other thing with y'all today. So I guess this has been trending for the past 2 days, two, three, I don't know. It's recent though. And I just heard about it really today. And I am overall just very tired of topics coming up literally meant to cause debate and argument and division between black men and black women. So here's what. I guess some research or an article or something got posted regarding the number of black men in college and that number having drastically dropped over time. Right now, it's at a really low point, meaning a lot of black men don't go to college. Black boys do not get out of high school and go to college, or they never go to college, right? So it's become this whole discussion about why. Why is that? And on one side, you got people, men and women, I've heard men and women say this, where it's like, there's no excuse. You can come up with all the excuses you want to, and there's no excuse. Well, that's disingenuous. In fact, the funny thing about saying something like that is you say that in one breath, but then with this situation that's happening in Frisco, Texas with Carmelo Anthony, you say that racism and oppression and all these things still happen and still affect us in so many ways. So how does it not fit here? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Then on the other side, you have the research. You have the research that shows certain things when it comes specifically to black boys. Like, for instance, there is ample research that shows that there are far less black boys in preschool than any other demographic. So it starts out different. Less black boys go to preschool, yet the number of black boys suspended from preschool is double that of any other population. We cannot ignore what research has shown consistently, which is that black boys are looked at differently from the start. From the time they hit school, they are looked at differently. That school to prison pipeline is a real thing. We cannot ignore certain differences. But then on the flip side, you also can't have some of y'all getting up here talking about well, our fathers were in prison and we didn't have money and we was in the project. So was your sister. She grew up in the house you grew up in. The daddy wasn't there neither for her. But somehow, so see, that's where it seems like the argument is coming into play. Because again, we get into these oppression Olympics. Who's oppressed more, black men or black women? And I mean, if you go back to Malcolm X, he pretty much told you that we are never mind. All I'm saying is there is valid barriers to black boys going to college, whether it's barriers systemically, whether it's barriers mentally, emotionally, psychologically, there are barriers. And I'm not saying that black women don't face those same barriers. We do. But there are nuanced differences too. But then there's also nuanced differences in the struggles black girls face. Like eldest girls and families, if you have siblings, if the eldest is that girl, trust, she had to be responsible early more than likely. She was probably parentified and adultified very early. She took on the responsibilities of taking care of children that didn't belong to her early. Now, that's not always the case, but it is often. So we're not going to pretend like either side has more responsibility than the other. And then we're also not going to pretend like a lot of black boys, not all, because y'all love getting in here flipping out. That ain't how I was. I wasn't talking to you then. But there are a lot of black boys who are coddled as well. And this is an argument that a lot of black girls who grew up with brothers have. My brother was coddled and enabled. Meanwhile, I was expected to just do. Like, that's a valid argument, ain't it? But at the end of the day, no matter what you say in this discussion, it is going to lead to debate. But certain things aren't debatable. The research isn't debatable. Like, there was a study, a couple of them done, in which teachers were told to watch a group of students and decide or it was a behavioral study about behaviors, which student might have a bad behavior, might have a negative behavior. Do you notice certain things that they do that let you know they might be the problem student? Funny thing though, those teachers weren't made aware that it wasn't the students that they were watching that were the research subject. They were the research subject. And the researchers were looking at them to see where their eyes went. What student are you automatically looking at to be the problem? And guess which one that was? The little black boys. These were little 5 and 6 year olds. And immediately, students sitting at a table, those teachers' eyes went to the black boys. And guess what? It wasn't just the white teachers' eyes. hmm So you can't ignore things like that. That would be disingenuous. You can't ignore that it might be different for them. But on the flip side, you can't continue to allow that to dictate what you do. Now, I get how that could make it difficult for little black boys to grow up loving school. You might not love school because of that, because you already know that you are a target. I get it. I mean, I don't because I'm not a man, but I'm saying black women have our own struggles, okay? But under any circumstance, we know that college doesn't guarantee success, but it puts you in certain positions to possibly get to success. You still have to have drive and willpower and all that stuff. And life is still going to life. And you're still going to face oppression and racism in this country. I don't know what makes folks think that us working twice as hard to get half as much means that they then see us as equal. They don't, still don't. Sorry. That's just the proof is in the pudding. But degrees do matter. I hate when people say that little piece of paper don't matter. Yes, it does. The work that went into it, oh, it matters. And it does put you in a better position often. But this whole argument is just insane to me. The research has always been there. I don't even know what. Oh, that's right. That's what made it come up because this particular study about the numbers dropping just came out. And somebody was like, there are more students of other ethnicities, more students not of color that attend Howard University than black male students, which is fascinating to hear, right? Because that's a HBCU, and more students who are not black attend that school than black male students. But you also got to wonder, where's the representation? I had two black male teachers my whole life. One was a gym teacher. Not saying nothing bad about gym teachers, but it was a gym teacher versus an academic teacher, which points to the whole, well, black boys typically want to just play sports, and that's where they'll succeed. So, see, having a gym teacher doesn't really help out here. But in college, I had an African American studies professor who was black. That was my first experience with an academic based black male teacher. So, yes, the representation is not there. There are so many different nuanced things involved in this. And for y'all to be dwindling it down to people just making excuses and y'all don't understand our plight and all the things y'all argue about, it honestly is stupid. If you're going to have the discussion, have it and have it productively and stop throwing jabs at each other. That's literally what always happens. And we never get to the productive part of the discussion. Why is that? Because we all want to blame everybody else. We all want to be, you need to be held accountable. Well, you need to be held accountable. Like, it's stupid. Where is the productivity in that? If y'all want to have this type of discussion, then really have it. Okay? And fun thing that you should do, listen. You can't get mad at some of the responses that you are receiving from black men. You can't get, can we learn to listen, to actively listen? That's a part of productive communication too. You gotta listen to each other. Y'all don't want to listen. You gotta listen though. If you're not gonna listen, there's no point in even having the discussion. And don't nobody seem to want to listen. Oh, and one other thing. Don't come over in my comments talk about something. Oh, she must be male centered. No, and if you followed me long enough, you would know better than that. I am not, but I'm also very much balanced and try not to be biased in these situations where we are talking about real life stuff with research behind it. All right? All right. So, anyway, that's all I got. I hope y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of the day, and I will holler at y'all later.